Hello, I'm Matthew Malcolm with American Vineyard Magazine, reporting to you here today from Fresno, California, raisin capital of the world. I'm here with Charles Salmon and Dwayne Cardoza from the Raisin Bargaining Association to give us an update on how the raisin crop is looking this season, as well as what our prospects are for what growers might be getting for their as a return for their crop this year. So as far as looking outside, we've had a great early season. I think it's been, we've had beautiful weather, pretty mild summer, but anything can change, right? Especially at harvest. So can you tell us where we're at, Dwayne?
Well, this year, quality is going to be outstanding. From what we're looking at right now, we are seeing the fruit had a great growing season, and the quality is going to be fantastic. The early varieties are being harvested as we speak, and it looks like the early varieties, which is about half of the industry now, as far as tonnage goes, looks like there's going to be about 10 to 15%. Now, on the other hand, they're starting to pick Thompsons, and it looks like the Thompsons, good quality. We think that it's going to be a normal crop because we haven't had a normal crop for 3 years because of the heat, and the quality last 3 years was not that good. So this year we believe that the Thompsons are going to have a regular normal crop with good quality. So we're keeping our fingers crossed that we had a couple of storms here in the last week or so, and we're keeping our fingers crossed that we can bring that nice crop in.
So, that being said, you mentioned Thompsons versus other raisin varieties, some of our newer varieties. The ratio of that changing over the years, and it sounds like a lot of growers are looking at the Thompsons and thinking, wow, this is going to be a good-sized crop. But that might not necessarily come to fruition, seeing the percentage of other varieties.
Yeah, last year we produced 188,000 tons. Right now we estimate that others, the other varieties, the Fiestas, Selma Pete's, are almost 100,000 tons, or should be close to 100,000 tons. So there's 80,000 tons, give or take, 88,000 tons of Thompsons. So, the Thompsons are shrinking. They're getting pulled out of the ground a lot. And people are not understanding that, but at the end of the day, the other varieties will overtake the Thompsons here within the next year or two.
So we got to be paying attention to what's going on there, and it makes at least the traditional crop forecasting a little bit dated, and trying to figure out what this year's crop. Do we have a sort of an estimate or range of what we expect this year? Do we expect it to be similar to last year, and as far as production goes?
We think that being that we think that the Thompson crop is going to be probably normal, a normal crop. So we're looking at anywhere from equal size crop to last year to maybe a 10% increase, but not much more than that.
And we also just had a rainstorm, right? As far as the areas that were most impacted in the valley, it seems like Madera was hit the hardest, which, as we know, is raisin central. So how would you say that this little rainstorm that we experienced might impact our raisin crop?
Yeah, our board members that are in the Madera, Kerman area, Biola area, they got impacted a lot. Along also the guys that have raisins along and grapes along the eastern corridor, Kingsburg area, and up closer to the foothills. So, I don't know how much of it was down or how much of it's still hanging. We just have to watch and see what's going to happen. But those areas, we have reports that got hit pretty good, half inch along the river bottom in Kerman, Biola area, and half an inch in Madera, so that's a pretty substantial rain.
I certainly hope the growers had insurance that were affected. But that being said, if we're looking at a similar crop to last year, or maybe a little less, depending on how much this storm may have impacted, or what you're saying, these other varieties are a little bit down. growers are going to be wondering, well, what is our price? What are we going to get for the crop? And I know it's over many years, growers have operated not knowing, going into harvest not knowing what they're going to get for their crop, and that's always a challenge. But I know the Raisin Bargaining Association, your chief role, right, is negotiating solid prices and representing the growers. So what are your thoughts, Charles, as far as, I know you guys have been working, trying to nail down a price for the packers? Where are we at?
We haven't made a whole lot of progress yet. It is early, though. Typically we don't even have a price till somewhere in October. When I took over as chairman a couple years ago, I had a thought that the industry couldn't afford these huge spikes that we had, from $21.50 to $1,100. That hurts the farmer and the industry terribly bad. So, I got with the board and we came up with a formula to where we were going to work on a 5 to 9% up or down year to year to try to eliminate the spikes. And Dwayne and I, we pitched that to every packer the first year, and it was accepted with a lot of success. They thought it was a good idea. So all I can tell you for this year is we're pressing the same thing, 5 to 9% up or down. And like I said, it's a little early. We've had some preliminary conversations with some of the packers. I actually have a couple of packers, that fairly large ones, that said that they thought that was achievable. So, it's early. We'll definitely see. I think probably once we get the complete crop down and we find out what the size of it is, then we'll be able to have a little deeper conversation.
Yeah, looking at some of the factors, in the market that might be, driving some of the conversation here is I know government buys has been a pretty big deal in that conversation. So, and you guys have been working really hard and making sure that raisins are pushed with our government buys. So where are we at in those conversations?
Well, right now we've got a $28 million buy. They're just going to start packing. The packers are going to start packing right now. The ones that have gotten awarded that a couple of months ago. We went back and asked for a $40 million buy from the government about 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago, because we originally asked for $70 million. They gave us 28. We want the rest of the buy, the $40 million, give or take. And so we've been in contact with the government quite a bit, and we have been informed that a lot of the commodities have been going back to Washington, D.C., and they've been asking for some significant amounts of buys, and they've all been awarded 100% of what they ask. So if we get the $40 million, we'll be very happy about it. Our group is going back to Washington, D.C. November 4th through the 6th. We have a team of the industry are going back to meet with AMS and some of the USDA people, and we're going to be, letting them know what's going on within our industry, kind of give the new regime that's in place right now some education, and we're also going to go see a few of our. We're really trying to push this year is USAID, which USAID has gone to the State Department now. So we want to know who's in charge of the USAID. If our government can buy, weapons and stuff to send to other countries, why can't they buy our raisins and send them to other countries like we did 20 or 30 years ago?
Well, that's great. I mean, it's a great time of the year to be pushing it, after harvest, and appreciate your representation and efforts there. Kind of in closing, thinking about, what growers should be focused on as they turn around their crop. What is your advice to growers as we look for sustainable price for their crop?
Well, I think the message that I would give to the growers today is it is early. I know last year we had a price by the first week of September. So, and that was really early. So the message I would send is our motto is strength in numbers. So I would say, let's stay strong. Let's stay together. Let's not sign any contracts with any packers until we have an MOU.
Hopefully we can nail down a solid price within that range. You're talking about 5 to 9% up or down. Obviously, growers are going to be hoping for the upside of that. But understand that you're doing your best. So read more about these things in American Vineyard Magazine. I'm Matthew Malcolm, CaliforniaAgNet.com.